What's up, fam? How y'all doing, guys? We are having hash and potatoes that I made yesterday. This is my leftovers. Guys, I wanted to tell you a story time that I didn't remember. And the only reason why I remember this story time, let's say, guys, dear God bless this food in just name, amen. The only reason why I remember this story time is because my cousin, who I had this issue with, he's coming today to visit. It's not really an issue. It's so stupid. It's so juvenile. We both were young. But anyways, he's coming to visit today at 3. And so I was like, you know what? Let me tell this story. I don't know if he watches this, but what's up, little Chris? I don't know if you watch my videos. I seriously doubt it. But I don't know if you remember this story time. Okay, so anyways, guys, let me go back to the year. So the year was 2011 or it was 2011 or 2010. I don't remember what the year was. But I remember exactly what happened was I was dealing with that whole court thing like I told you guys. And so I remember at the time my mom's mom was sick, so she had to leave her school where she worked, basically ran the school. And then she flew out to Texas, right? To San Antonio, Texas. And then I remember she went the first time. My whole situation happened the first time where, they brought up, So then I was told to leave the school or whatever. Didn't understand what happened. I'm like, I did nothing wrong. I was in the front desk all the time. I didn't understand. They didn't tell me anything. That's what pissed me off so much. So anyways, I remember I left and then my mom got a phone call or whatever. And then she was like, okay, you know what we're going to do? We're going to turn your phone off and then they can't accuse of anything happening. So I'm like, okay, fine. So I hanged out with my aunt that day. So anyways, I remember she asked, whoever she asked, she's like, can I take him to Florida with me or something like that, right? Because we didn't know anything was happening yet, right? So she took me to San Antonio, Texas. Everybody knew what happened and didn't even know the whole facts. That shit pissed me off because I don't know why my mom told everybody my business. And I don't even know these people like that. So anyways, his dad, who I don't like because we don't get along. I don't know why. Because he's heard lies from his sister. So he really kind of like had an attitude the whole time around me. And I remember like he was telling me like, I can't use this. I can't do this. He just had all these rules that pissed me off. And so I remember his son and me connected. My cousin that's coming today, we connected because he would come over to see his grandmother. And so we connected. And so we bonded like really, really, really fast. So he would go to school during the week. And then on the weekends, when his dad would come to see his mom, they would leave him at the house. So me and him would hang out. He would spend the night. We would hang out. We'd go eat. We'd walk to the gas station. We'd walk the neighborhood. There was a little shopping center not that far from my grandma's house. So I would get on the bus. There was a lot of fun stuff that we did. And, oh crap, I spilled. I remember, so we bonded. And we got in a fight. I don't remember why we got in this fight, but there was like this little small fight that happened. And he just went off. He's like, you're stupid. You're slow. Your mom had to bring you down here because you're in trouble with the law and da-da-da-da-da-da. And I know all your issues. And he was just like, there's special needs. Like he was just going off, being like a total asshole, being a bully. So I don't know if I pushed him or something. And then I think he like pushed me back and ran out the room crying and was like, Dad, I want to go home. So then his like dad picked him up and was like, what happened? And then I know me and him got in an argument. I yelled at my uncle yelled at me. I told my mom, see, you keep running your mouth and telling people stuff that's not true. And I was just like, I'm done. I want to go home. Like I was so pissed. So anyway, so that was like, that had to be like the end of May. Yeah, the end of May. It had to be like the end of May. So then I remember we didn't talk for like maybe a good 3 to 4 weeks. We didn't talk, right? So my dad was coming down to visit my mom and, he was able to get some time off. So he flew in, he got a rental car. He picked us up. Me and him were not that close at the time, but he was still trying and I gave it to him. So I remember Shrek was coming out, Shrek 4 or Shrek 3, whatever number it was. And he was like, I'll take you boys to go see a movie. We'll get something to eat, right? We'll do some guys time. And so I was like, that's cool. So my cousin, me, and my dad, we all went in the car. We went to some theater that was close by, went and saw Shrek. We had lunch. We did like a guy's day, had fun. So we and him kind of faked it that day, like just so, because we already had that plan before the fight happened. So then I remember 4th of July was coming up. And my uncle and his whatever number wife that was, he was having a barbecue at his house. So I remember me, my mom, and my grandma, who hated me, we all get in her car. She hated me to the end. I didn't even want to be around this woman. I don't want to talk bad of the dead, but she was just evil. So anyways, I remember she hated me so bad. So I remember we get in the car, we go to my uncle's house, and my mom and me have to get her out, get her, walk her, push her in. Then her sons came out. There's a picture of them. Then we went in the house. We were having fun. We ate. Then I remember my cousin took me, my cousin and me and his daughter, because his daughter came, because it was at their house. They lived there. And then their 2 step siblings were there. And so we all hanged out in the back porch just laughing. And there was a swing. And I'm super skinny at the time. And I just remember we had so much fun. So I remember me and little Chris, we were like, okay, let's make up. We apologized to each other. I was like, yeah, I think I took it a little too far. And then the sister's like, see, you guys are cousins. You're family. You can't stay mad at each other forever. So I remember we apologized. And then I remember talking about the situation outside with them. And I remember them saying, that's bullshit. You did nothing wrong. How can they mess with your life? I'm like, I know. So anyways, then we were coming back because my mom would do 6 months there and then she would come back to Florida, right? So it was time for her to come back. And so, because we left in March and this incident happened early March. No, early March. And then we didn't leave until the end of March. So anyways, so we come back to Florida and Jackson and me are super best friends at the time. So we're like, Mom, can he come with us? And my mom was like, yeah, that's fine. And so it was going to be his first time flying. So he comes back with us. We get on the airplane. We come back. My dad picks us up at the airport. He's all excited that we're back, because he hasn't seen his wife for a while. He don't really give a shit about me. But then, I don't know, we drove up in the driveway. We come to the front door. My little brother's here. My sister's here. They hug Mom. Totally ignore me. My sister hugged me. My sister, because me and her were cool at the time. So then I remember we went upstairs, and this was the first time that I've been back for 6 months. So when I left, I had a bedroom. I shared a room upstairs with my brother, and I had all my stuff decorated. I was so clean freak back then. So my desk had pictures of Beyonce, Destiny's Child. I used to collect Pop Star magazine a lot. So I had Britney Spears, all these different people, right? Girls that I had crushes on. And then I had all the magazines in a drawer in my room, because my dad was like, you got to clean up the room. So anyways, so one half was my brother, one half was mine. So I know what my room looked like when I left. So my dad didn't tell me nothing. My mom didn't tell me nothing. So when I came back to the house and we came in the front door, the house kind of felt a little weird, because my grandma's house is smaller. This house, the layout is bigger, right? So when I came back, I went upstairs because my cousin was, wanted to see where we were going to be sleeping or whatever. Guys, I was so pissed. My bed was moved. My whole desk was moved. All my stuff was they erased me. I didn't even exist. I literally almost broke down. And then my brother's just sitting there smiling. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? I was so pissed. And then I'm like, where am I supposed to sleep? So my brother's like, well, you get to sleep on the couch in front of the TV. That's your new sleeping place. I'm like, nah, that's not how this works. So I run downstairs. I'm like, Mom, what the hell is going up with my room? And she's like, oh, well, when your father came down, he was supposed to tell you that. I'm like, what do you mean? That I got kicked out? Y'all don't want me to live here? What's going on? Your stuff is in the garage. So I literally felt like they were kicking me out and they didn't even tell me. I literally fell apart and started crying. And I came in the kitchen. I was just super quiet. I didn't say nothing. My cousin comes downstairs and my mom is like, what's wrong? I'm like, y'all did something. Y'all are sneaky. Y'all did this behind my back and no one even told me. And you want us to tell truth and be honest with each other. Bullshit. So I was so pissed. So then my dad comes out of the bathroom and he's like, well, I meant to tell you that's no longer your room. That's your brother's room. You're sharing with your brother. I said, bullshit, because that was both of our rooms. What do you mean? He's younger than me. Why do I need to share with him? That makes no sense to me. So I was like, all right, I got you guys. So I went to the room that I'm living in now. I went to that room and I slept in that room. And I remember there was a fight. There was a fight that night. with me and my cousin. It was late at night. My parents were like, it had to be like midnight. We were watching TV because I refused to be upstairs. I was like, fuck it. You want to kick me out of the room? I'm never staying up there. So anyways, so we refused to what we refused to they were watching some movie or they were watching something that was stupid. I wanted to watch something, right? And so I remember I took the remote. No. I was watching something. They came down. They took the remote because they wanted to record something because upstairs TV did not record. And they were playing Halo, and I was just basically being ignored. I'm like, why did he even come? You know, because he didn't even know my brother like that. So anyways, so we ended up getting in a yelling match at each other. I remember we pushed each other. He pushed me into the entertainment center. I pushed him back. The shelf fell down. There was a big bang. I don't know how my parents didn't hear it. So then my sister runs out to see what's happening. She's trying to stop the fight. She's like, you go here, you go here. And then my brother's just laughing because he thinks it's so funny. So then my cousin runs upstairs crying because, you know, he's one of those fighters. Like, get in a fight, get so angry, then cry. He was one of those fighters. So I was like, why are you crying? So the next morning, I remember my dad went to work. And I don't remember what happened. Somehow me and my mom got in an argument or something. I don't remember. And we got in a fight. She goes in her room. She slams the door. I'm still trying to have a conversation with her. And then my sister comes in. My sister gets in the middle of it. She does something that reminds me of my brother that's dead. That's like being like I don't want to say a bully, but it was almost like a bully. Like she thought she was helping the situation, but she was making it worse because I have this thing where if I'm fighting with you, I don't want anyone else in my business. I don't want anyone else in the middle of it, right? So she put herself in the middle of it. Like me and my mom can go toe to toe and then we'll walk away or something, but she put herself in the middle of it. I remember she shut the door. I called her the B word. I'm like, you stupid bitch. Like I said it like that. Like I felt so bad after I said it because I've never cussed at my sisters ever. I swear to you, it was like this ghost came over her. She runs to her room and she's like so hurt by what I said. Didn't talk to me for like a whole month. I remember that. And then, oh my God. Then my cousin, but anyways, so that fight happened, right? And it got really, really, really heated to the point where my mom was like, leave my home. She said it just like that, like screamed it at me. My brother's watching, my cousin's watching. My sister, you know, she's still hurt because of what I said. So I said, no, I'm not going anywhere. If you want me to leave, call the cops. She would never do that, right? So I go to the back room. I'm in the back room. I'm watching TV. I think I was watching the Disney Channel, and I think I was watching I was watching Jersey Shore. That's what I was watching. I was watching Jersey Shore because I remember Snooki was, this was the episode when she got arrested on the beach because she was restless. She was drunk on the beach. I remember that. And she was so short, and it went viral. But anyways, I remember that. So I remember it was like 8 o'clock at night. I remember my dad came and he said, pack up your stuff. And so at this time, all my stuff is in a laundry basket. All my stuff, not even my clothes, just like my boom box, my picture frame, none of my magazines. I think they must have tossed my magazines because I never found them again. And these could have been worth money one day because these were collectible. So my dad's like, pack up your stuff. You're going somewhere. Your mother doesn't want here. I'm like, where am I going to go? He's like, call one of your friends. So I call my friend Simone. I'm like, hey, can I come stay with you? She's like, yeah, I'm living with my girlfriend. That's fine. So I go over there and my dad's all excited. He's like, but before that, he's like, you're not supposed to be in this room. This is not your room. This is the guest room. Get out of this room. I'm like, mom said it was fine. She's not even talking to you. So I'm like, okay, fine. So I didn't even cry. I was so happy. So anyway, unbeknownst to me, or however you say the word, I didn't know the court system was investigating me for, I don't even know what the fuck they were investigating me for. But anyways, this was 2010. This was not 2011. This was 2010 because I remember. So my cousin stayed. We came back in July. My cousin stayed until until November. I think it was, he stayed until November because I remember that. So anyways, so I remember I get kicked out. So I grab my stuff. I get in my dad's 2007 Honda Odyssey or Honda Civic Blue. And I don't say shit to nobody. I don't even say goodbye to my mom, goodbye to my sister, goodbye to my brother, goodbye to my, I didn't say nothing. I said, I want to say fuck all of you. That's literally what I probably should have said. So anyways, my cousin, my friend, Simone, and her girlfriend and her best friend lived close to a college. So the rent was a lot cheaper. So I go there, I knock on the door. They say, hey, Biggie, because that was my nickname. Hey, what's up, Biggie? So I stay with them. My dad leaves. I don't even fucking say goodbye to him, nothing. Simone says hi to my dad. And that's it, right? I don't talk to him. I don't say shit to them, right? So I stay with Alex, Simone, and I think the guy's name was Alexa or Alexis or something like that, right? Unfurnished apartment. Literally, there's no couches. There's nothing, right? So I sleep on the floor. There's only one bed because my friend Alex, she was in a bad situation with her mother, and her father put her in that apartment to get her out of a really bad situation. And then Simone was working at Disney or SeaWorld during the day. And then I was just hanging out. And then we just had a computer and a TV that was in the master bedroom, and then one bathroom, and then a little dining room table, and then a little kitchen. And we had parties. We did different stuff. We had fun. So anyways, there was this excuse me. There was this intervention, right, on my best friend Simone, right? Because she was dating a guy named Josh, who then she was shitting on Josh with Eric. Eric was my good friend. Josh didn't know about it. Eric didn't know about Josh. Then she was cheating on Eric with Alexa, with Alexa, who was a rapper. So she went from two guys to them being lesbian over the last, I don't know, I knew her for like 7 years. So we did an intervention because other friends were noticing that she was talking to other girls behind Alexa's back, right? Or Alex's back. Her name is Alex. So I remember Simone was at work, and Alex comes and says, yo, Biggie, do you know this Eric dude? And I was like, yeah, he lives by me and he goes to school with me. He's like, yo, can you hit him up? I was like, yeah. So I hit up Eric. I'm like, Eric, yo, come over, bro. He's like, all right, I'll be right there. So Eric comes over. Eric's like, yo, why didn't you just stay with me? You didn't have to stay with her. Like, my parents love you. You could have stayed with me, and I have a big house. I'm like, yeah, I know. I was like, I totally forgot. So anyway, so Eric comes over. He comes upstairs. We're talking, whatever. And then so Alex is like, yo, how long were you all together? And she's like, we've been together since like our sophomore year of high school. What are you talking about? She's like, yeah, that's what Biggie said. She's like, but she's been talking to me the whole time. And she told me that she's never been with the guy. And I'm like, you're being played. And so then I was like, yo, and then Josh like just randomly called me. He's like, yo, Big E, where you at, bro? He's like, you want to hang out or something? I'm like, yo, I'm over here at Simone's crib. He's like, yo, I'm like, not that far. He's like, all right, I'll just come over. I was like, all right. So he comes over, and he lives downtown Orlando, right? Not a really good home life, but he sings like R&B music. Like, dude, he sings like, who does he sing like? Like Marvin Gaye or Stevie, whatever his name is, Stevie Wonder. Or anyways, he can sing. Josh would have been big. Still can be big. I don't know if he is a singer or not. But anyways, so Josh shows up. So it's like me, Josh, Eric, Alex, Simone's best girlfriend, her boyfriend. And so we're all in the apartment hanging out, trying to figure out like, how are we going to do this intervention, right? So we know Simone get off at 10. It's like 8:30, almost 9 o'clock, right? So they're like, who's known Simone the longest? I'm like, me. They're like, well, then you should say something. I'm like, dude, but that's fucked up because I'm her best friend. And now I'm going to go and be in the middle of all this drama. And they're like, yo, but it might come differently from you. I said, yeah, that's true. So I was like, dude, I'm fucked. I was like so pissed. So anyways, I remember Simone walked in the door. She's like, hey, everybody, like, what's going on? Like, are we having a party? Like, how do y'all, like, what's going on? So she goes, drops off her purse, changes her clothes, comes back out. And she's like, yo, what's going on? And I was like, all right, can I holla at you? So we go back in her room. I shut the door. I'm talking to her. And I go, um, I go, listen, this is an intervention. Alex found out that you're cheating, or Alex found out you're cheating on her with Eric. Eric found out that you cheat on Alex with um Eric. Josh didn't even know about Eric. I'm like, listen, and then you're talking to your what's her face's boyfriend. Like, anyways, this is the intervention. She's like, fuck you, Biggie. I'm so mad at you. I'm your best friend. I should have known. She's like, your loyalty should have been to me. And I'm like, my loyalty is to you. I'm just telling you that you're hurting a lot of people, and I'm trying to call you out on your shit because this is not right. Like, if you like girls or boys, it's your decision, but stop leading people on, you know? And so then she's like, all right, fuck it, let's go. And so we go out there. Everybody says what they say. She puts it all out there. And then she's like, I feel better. The truth is out. And what? Like, if you all want to leave me, then leave me. I don't care. So anyways, I remember Eric left. Josh left. Josh was like, yo, Biggie, I'll hit you up tomorrow. I was like, all right, cool. And then I remember the two other people left. And then it was just me, Simone, Alex, and Alex's best friend that was gay. I forget what his name was. Super pale guy. Super pale. But anyway, so we locked the door behind him. So I go in the room and I'm talking or whatever. And I felt like a little kid getting scolded, like I was about to get beat or something, because she was just like yelling at me, screaming at me. She's just like standing there. And I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? I remember she lunged at me, right? And I remember Alex like grabbed her and said, no, you're not going to hit him. Like, he did nothing wrong. Like, he's the only one being honest right here with his own shit he's going through. So I remember she punched, I don't know how she did. She ran around Alex, punched me in the eye, scratched the inside of my eye. My eye swole up like really fast, was bleeding. I remember I went in the bathroom. You could see my swollen eye. I remember the gay guy was like, yo, take my t-shirt. Because we had like no paper towels. We had like no towels, nothing, right? So he like gets his clean t-shirt. He puts some ice in it and puts it on my eye and says, sit down. So I sit down on the floor. I'm not crying or nothing. I'm more just like, I'm more shocked that my best friend just put her hands on me, knowing all the abuse that I've been through, knowing all of her abuse, and us both promising never to put our hands at each other. And I remember just being like, wow. So then I remember Alex, because she was going crazy, like crazy. And we were trying to call her down because we didn't want to get a noise complaint. We didn't want to get kicked out. And I remember Alex or Simone ran outside. And then by chance, I don't know how this happened, but Simone's dad called me, Gordon. His name was Gordon. I think his name was Mr. Gordon or whatever his name was. He calls me and he's like, yo, what's up, Matt? How you doing? Because he never called me Biggie. He didn't like that. He's like, no, I think people are making fun of your weight. But anyways, he's like, what's up? And I'm like, well, and I'm just talking to him. So then Alexis says, so your daughter just put her hands on her best friend, and that's fucked up. And then he's like, press charges. Because he's like, she needs to get her anger under control because there was a history of her doing this to other people. So her own dad told me to press charges. He's like, press charges, get her locked up. It will stop her. I'm like, no, I don't want to do it. He's like, no, it doesn't matter. Matt, you got to come to a point where your loyalty to people who put their hands on you needs to go away, and you need to protect yourself because she's done other stuff to you in the past. Like, there was one time where I didn't tell her something. She literally digged her sharp nails that she just got done into my arm like this, like so bad, and left fingerprints, like literally cut me. And I never said anything. I remember her mom saw that, and her mom said, Simone did that to you. I said, yeah, how you know? She does it to me all the time. She's like, Matt, don't let her put her hands on you. You're not a child. 1, 2, you're bigger than her. You could squash her. And 3, you don't need to let people abuse you and not say nothing. Say something. So anyways, I just know her dad knew about that. And her dad knew how good I was to this girl. So then I remember he talks to his daughter and he's like, look, if Matthew doesn't press charges, I'm going to press charges because you need to get your anger under control. This is not right. So she starts screaming at her dad and then she hangs up. So then I go outside on my porch, or on the porch, and it was like super nice and cool and nice out there. So I'm sitting out there keeping this thing on my eye. I video chat my mom on back then. What did we had? We had I don't think WhatsApp was out. I think we had Zoom. No, we didn't have Zoom. We had Skype. We had Skype and we had, I don't know if Facebook had Messenger by then. I don't remember. But I know I Skyped my mom. I remember. Because, or no, she was Skyping me just to say, hey, because she says, and I don't know if I believe this, she says, I never told you to move out of my home. I told you to leave my room. I said, no, you did not. You said, get out of my house. And I got out of your house. She's like, yes, but I didn't mean it like that. I would never throw one of my kids out. I'm like, okay, well, whatever. You know, she's trying to backpedal. But by this time, she's back in Texas. She took little Chris back to Texas. She's home. So this is now getting to the end of 2010. So anyway, so I show her my eye. Actually, I didn't even want to show her my eye. I was only like right here. It was dark enough that she couldn't see this side. So I had the camera right here and she's like, what's on your eye? I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, because she could probably see this part right here that was all swollen. So she's like, what happened to your eye? I'm like, she's like, don't lie to me, Matthew. What happened to your eye? I'm like, Simone punched me in my eye and scratched my cornea. She's like, oh, like she was so pissed. She said, press charges. If her dad told you to press charges, press charges. I said, I'm not going to do that. I don't want to have to fill out a form, blah, 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 blah. So anyways, so then I don't know what she did, but she called my dad. My dad was at work. I remember that day, that night, my dad called me and said, pack all your stuff up. I'm coming to pick you up tonight. I'm bringing you home. And I'm like, I don't want to go home. Like, what the hell? And so he's like, you have no choice. You're coming home. Your mother wants you home. I'm like, okay. What I should have said was, hell no. Y'all kicked me out and I should have stayed gone. Because I was 21 at the time. Yeah, hell yeah. I should have stayed gone. Please. My life would have been so different, honestly. Yeah, I probably would have struggled. But I know for a fact that my aunt would have helped me out. I know for a fact that my other sister that I'm close to would have helped me out. And then I know the state of Florida would have helped me out because they had places for young adults. I don't care if I would have had to live in a shelter. I would have never came back to this house ever. But anyways, so at this time, before my dad came, like a week before this fight happened, I sold my $600 boombox that at the time could do 6 different songs in one thing. Like it was expensive, that they gave me for Christmas one year. I remember I changed my digital frame that was $60 to $70. We didn't get that much from it. We pawned all this stuff just so we could eat. I had to pawn all my stuff so we could eat. And then I pawned my camera, my first camera that I got from graduation because I wanted to be a photographer. I pawned that. So I was just like, I had nothing. So by the time my dad picked me up, the only thing I had was maybe 5 outfits of clothes, my shoes, my phone charger, my phone, and that was it. That's all I had. That's literally all I had when I came home. The basket was pretty much all empty. So then I remember I gave Alex a kiss goodbye. I know when she came home that night, or the same day, like after all this stuff happened, she was playing the Nicki Minaj song, or no, the Usher song with Nicki Minaj because she got tickets to take them to go see Usher. Usher was coming to Orlando at that time. And they were watching my favorite movie with Beyonce at the time that was in it. I forget what it's called, where she's a wife. And they were watching that. And I'm like, oh, wow, all my favorite things happen when I'm leaving. So anyways, I remember I gave Simone a hug and she apologized. I do remember that. She thanked me for not pressing charges and just said, our friendship is different now. I look at you so differently. I don't trust you no more. And I was like, yeah, I can understand that. And then I just gave Alex a hug goodbye. Alex was like, yo, hit me up if you want to come back anytime. And then the gay guy gave me a hug too, and I left. And then I came down the steps, and it was so weird getting in the car with my dad because he was like a stranger to me. Like, he didn't say nothing to me. I know Simone gave him a hug. Alex gave him a hug. The gay guy gave him a hug. They were like, yo, Biggie, hit us up if you need anything, you know. And my dad thanked them. And I remember we drove out of the parking lot and came home, and we did not talk the whole way home. He didn't say shit to me. Like, I think he was still mad at me. So anyways, I remember coming home. It's late at night. It's like 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night, right? No, it was like maybe 2 in the morning, actually, now that I think about it, because the fight happened around 10. So it's like 2 in the morning. Like, I didn't even know he was going to come get me. I thought he would have came and got me the next morning or something. But my mom must have made him go get me right then and there. Because she don't want no one to put her hands on, people put hands on me. But she's done anyway. So anyways, so I remember, I remember, I remember, um, I remember coming home, coming through these front doors, the house being completely dark because my sister was asleep, my brother was asleep already. My dad took me to the back of the house and said, "This is your room now on. This is where you sleep." And he left and he went in his room. He's like, "The refrigerator's stocked. If you're hungry, eat something, whatever." And he just went in his room. And I literally cried because I felt like I was the evil stepchild coming home or something. And I remember I took a hot shower. I cried. I remember I got in my bed. It was a new bed to me because it was big. It was a queen bed before I was sleeping on a twin. And then when I was in the apartment, I was sleeping on the floor. And I remember I literally just cried myself to sleep. And then I remember the next morning, I remember I remember the next morning I came out to make me breakfast and no one said good morning to me. Like my dad already left at 6 a.m. My brother left at 7 to go to school. My sister left a little bit later. His girlfriend left a little bit later. And no one said anything to me. No one said anything to me. Cut to, oh, and I remember I called my mom that morning. I said, "Mom, why did you tell him to come get me? I don't want to be here. I'm treated like an evil stepchild." And she's like, "Well, Matthew, people's feelings are hurt. You're going to have to give people time to like get used to you being in the home again." I'm like, "Why are people's feelings hurt? Like, what happened? Like, please, I'm the one who should be hurt. I'm the one that got kicked out." So then she tried to argue. I hanged up in her face. I'm like, "I'm not arguing with you." So then I called my other sister that lived in DC at the time, or no, still lived in Ohio at the time that I was close to. And she was like, she kind of said the same thing, but she said it differently. And then she was just like, "Give people time because your sister she does love you. She's just hurt as she's explained to me." And I'm like, "Yeah, I understand that." So then I remember it was Christmas time by this time. And I remember we went to my uncle's house. We were hanging out. My brother's best friends that were kind of like my best friends, they flew in. It's 2010. They flew in to have Christmas with us from Texas. And they came and stayed with us. And my sister did a bunch because by the time that I was gone, my sister got super, super close to my brother. And so they all had their little like group. So I remember they came down. She went and did all this stuff with them and just left me out. She didn't even care. She didn't even invite me. So I remember we were going to the beach. We were going to Clearwater Beach that's in Tampa. Or no, it's in where is it? Where's Clearwater Beach? Not Panama, but anyways, it's not that far from here. It's about an hour. So I remember so everyone was in the pool, everyone was in the beach, and I remember I came back because we were leaving, right? And so I took my stuff back, and we were leaving, and I was like, "Oh shit, it's me and her in the car," right? Because everyone else was still on the beach. So I remember I washed my feet off, and I was coming in, and I remember I sat in the car, loaded up the back. She's way in the back seat. She's on her phone texting her boyfriend or whoever she was talking to, and nothing's happening. And I just said, "You know what? This has been on my mind. Let me just apologize because that's my sister and I love her and I know I hurt her." So I turned around and I said, "Hey, I'm sorry that I hurt you. I'm sorry that I called you the B word. I just had a lot going on." And then she was like, "Mm-hmm, mm-hmm." Like that's all she said. She didn't say I forgave you. She didn't say nothing. Then we went to dinner that night, and then my sister, because my other sister from Ohio, she flew down too. And so she was like, um, "So how's everything going?" And then we were going to my uncle's house Christmas Eve day that night. And so I remember we went to the party and I was just like, I was so angry to be there because I was just like, everybody was like in their own little clique and I was kind of just left by myself in the corner. And I was so angry because no one talked, like my aunt talked to me. I remember my cousin said hey to me. My uncle said hey to me. My grandma and grandpa said hey to me. And that was really it. Like my dad was still not talking to me. My mom flew in. She was here for Christmas.